Let's get into it.
Yes, sir. What's happening?
So I want to start from the beginning. What made Drumma Boy and how Drumma Boy came about. So when I did my research on you, you come from Memphis.
Yeah.
So tell me about that. Like, how was your upbringing and how you get into music? I know you played if I'm not mistaken, the clarinet, right?
Yeah.
So how did before Drumma Boy? Who was Drumma Boy?
Shit, Chris Ghost and goddamn it, coming up in the city of Memphis, man. My older brother, Insane Wayne. Between him and my pop, that was music for me. You know what I'm saying? And the city of Memphis is just a music city. Like, we home of the blues. You're gonna hear the blues in every restaurant you go out and eat at. You know, you go to Beale Street, you go to, man, at the time we was always going to Catfish Cabin on Sunday. You know, it'll be little spots that you just, man, gonna always hear the blues. You know what I'm saying? And outside of that, on Sunday you hear the church. You know what I'm saying? So, if you went to church or whatever, my parents, they was in the church heavy. And, just in the choir and, man, just always just seeing something about music. You know what I mean? And it just became like a feeling for me of just good music. Lamont Dozier, Isaac Hayes, Al Green, you know what I mean? Just certain classic quality music. And then it from 5 years old, 6 years old, you start 7, you start getting into the pimping. You see your uncles, you see how they moving and walking and talking. You see how big bruh, you know what I'm saying, playing certain music. I'm hearing about Spanish Fly and, Gangsta Pad. And, I'm starting to hear about Ball and G around 8, 9 years old, stuff like that. And we was always in the garage playing pool. I'm from Black Haven, Memphis. So we was always like some just fly, you know what I mean, honorable, God-fearing, fresh, play some pool, you know what I'm saying? Like, granddaddy was always, my one granddaddy would be always, look at baby sister. Oh, look at her baby sister. You hear him talking about girl out of that, oh, baby sister this, baby sister that, but just always just looking. You know what I'm saying? Not doing anything, just, you know what I mean? And then you see, it's just so much that you peep in the city of Memphis, man, that you pick up on and learn from, and it kind of just, it's like a pot of gumbo. I always tell them, man, it's just ingredients, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and you just make the best out of what you got.
And the crazy thing is, I hear the Memphis in your voice.
Oh, yeah.
I hear it all the way thoroughly.
Yeah, for sure.
So, you say you from Black Haven. What side of town is that on?
Black Haven is really like South Memphis, but it's our own city. So it was White Haven. White Haven is a city within itself. It was a city before anything. It's still a city, and it's more of like an area in Memphis. And when you coming from Mississippi, it's the first part you hit. So coming in from 55, you know what I'm saying. And then if you coming in through 78 or something like that, you coming in through East Memphis, coming up Lamar. You know what I'm saying? And my pop stayed in Orange Mound. My mama stayed in Black Haven. So it was kind of just a bounce back between the two. Orange Mound, like more in the center of Memphis. And then, Black Haven, like South Memphis. But it's not South Memphis.
Okay. And coming up in Memphis, and I'm a fan of Memphis music. I think my first cassette tape was 3-6 Mafia, Tear the Clubs Up. What was it, 94, 95?
Yeah.
Because my uncle used to listen to Mystic Rivers and all that. So he was a big 3-6 Mafia fan. So coming up, did you happen to run across those guys, or like was you like a fan of their music? Like, how was the music scene?
You can't not be a fan of 3-6 Mafia if you in Memphis. Period. Like, you know what I mean? Like they just was it was a movie. It was cinematic. Like, if you really look at the sound of 3-6 Mafia, so many people keep saying trap and this and that. Yeah, they was influencing the trap and the sound, but it was crunk. It was Get Buck, but it was horrific cinema.
Yeah.
Listen to the sound. Like Paul was always sampling a scary movie. A lot of them sounds in the beats that you hearing from 3-6 Mafia were from scary movies. You know what I mean? And they some of the kings of sampling. Like this, some things were played from scratch, but it's a lot of sampling going on. You know what I mean? And particularly when you just making beats on like that SP1200, you ain't got no keys, you ain't got no keyboard. So your sounds are the drum sounds, the 808, the hat, the snare, the kick, the drum, and then you would sample your musical elements into it. Let me sample this note. Let me sample this. Do, 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 do. And then do, 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 do. You know what I'm saying? Everything was sampled in. It's a sampler. It's a sample machine. You know what I mean? And that's what we was doing. Like, let me pull this, let me pull this. If you look at Premier, you look at a lot of Nas beats, you look at man, particularly Primo, you know, Just Blaze, a lot of them cats, they would pull samples from different places, and it'd be a beat with like 7, 8, 9, 10 different samples all in one beat. From different songs. Like if we had to clear songs back in the 80s and 90s, bro, it'd be that shit would be like madness. You know what I'm saying? So Paul and Juicy was like that. You know what I mean? Just real heavy samplers, and just seeing that cinematic energy that you would, you know, it was hypnotizing for real. Like Hypnotized Minds, they lived up to that name. As soon as you hear the beat, you was just locked in.